Hey guys, what's up? I'm CJ and welcome back to my galaxy. Today we're talking about Modern Family and a possible reboot of the whole series. And if you've read the title, you know that we're talking about Modern Family, and maybe you thought, hey, there's actually a reboot. Unfortunately, this is just speculation as of right now because I am a fan of Modern Family, and I know apparently that the Modern Family fandom seems to be kind of alive and well. You know, they pop up every so often when there's like a Modern Family cast reunion, or if there's something going on with the series or whatever, if one of the actors are doing something, which is interesting because I didn't know about that. I'm a fan of Modern Family. I watched it growing up. I loved it, which is why I want to talk about it today, because I recently, just like the other day, finished rewatching the entirety of the series. There is 11 seasons and they're like 20 episode seasons, which is like, bring back 20 episode seasons, please, will you? I miss 20 episode seasons. It was so much more fun to see your favorite season come out and not have everything crammed into the same, like, 6 episodes with the same stuff happen. You know what I mean? You know, like how the plot's the same, or they're just cramming all of this exposition into one episode and trying to tell you all of this stuff that's happening. And I'm like, can we have more filler episodes? Please bring them back. I miss filler episodes, because that's one thing that Modern Family, before we get into the whole reboot thing, the one thing Modern Family does right that a lot of episode series during the time when we did 20 episode seasons was that filler episodes developed character relationships. People think filler episodes don't do much, but it shows you the proper relationship that each and every character, especially when you have ensemble casts, you need filler episodes to develop the relationships between every single character. But the first question I want to ask today for the Modern Family reboot, is it necessary to reboot the series? And the answer is probably not. As much as I would like to see it come back again for a new season, we don't really need to do another season or a spin-off, because they kind of ended it really well. I personally think that some of the character relationships should have ended it differently, you know, with like Haley and Dylan ending up together and having twins. I still think Andy should have been with her, or they should have like filmed it differently if they had scheduling conflicts. I just think some things should have happened differently, which is also the reason why I'm talking about a reboot today. But they had kind of a full circle moment for the series, and it ended on a good note. So it's not like they left us on a cliffhanger. It's not like there were unanswered questions for, like, you know, the Umbrella Academy. Not that that's a sitcom, but the Umbrella Academy is on the mind right now because so many questions with that series that they never answered. And that's what happens when you have like 6 episodes a season. But Modern Family, they did really well, and we don't need a reboot. So why am I thinking, hey, what if Modern Family wanted a reboot? Because I have an idea and I want to discuss it, and I want to see if you guys think that there should be a reboot, or you think there's potential there. Even though there's not necessarily a need for it, I think there is potential, in my personal opinion. But I want to hear what you guys have to say for that as well. And if you think my idea is good, do you have another idea? Let me know. I also want to point out that a couple of things. Sofia Vergara, who played Gloria in Modern Family, when the series first ended, I think she was on the late night show that I watched an interview, or like a clip of the interview, and the person hosting, I don't know, remember if it was like Jimmy Fallon or something, but they asked if there was going to be a potential reboot. Does she see it being rebooted in the future? And she goes, why? You know, there's no need for it. I don't remember exactly what she said, but she said like it had just finished, like leave it alone for now. And I have to agree, if we want a reboot, do it 10 years down the line. We don't need it right now. And the other thing that also got me thinking about a reboot is that a couple of months ago, everyone thought Modern Family was coming back because they were on set. They were in the Dunphy family house, and it turned out that they were filming for an ad. I think, was it WhatsApp? I think it was an ad for WhatsApp. And they had Claire, Phil, I don't remember the actors' names, like Ty Burrell, Julie Bowen, and then the people who play Cam and Mitch on there. And I think it was those 4. I didn't see the entire ad, but I saw people complaining that they thought there was going to be a reboot, and it turned out there was not, in fact, a reboot. And people were really disappointed which is fair because why are they filming for Modern Family in an ad when it ended 4 years ago now, I think, almost 5? I think the last season aired right before COVID hit. So, and they would have finished filming it in like 2019. So there was, why is there a point for them to make an ad now? That's really weird. That's also how I figured out the fandom is still alive and well, because there was edits coming out and there was people talking about it and people really excited about it. I mean, it was America's, or I think America's ABC. Australia has their own ABC, but America's ABC. It's their longest running sitcom ever at the moment, until someone overtakes them, or at the time period, I don't remember, but it's the longest running sitcom from what I saw. So that there's a lot of fans. There's enough fans for it to be justified to have 11 seasons. So how do I think that they could potentially reboot Modern Family? I don't think that they should add like a season 12 necessarily onto the original Modern Family series like 5 years later, or 5 to 10 years later. I think as is, the Modern Family show needs to just stay as it is. Leave it alone. It's a sitcom. It's fun. It ended. Leave it alone. But if they ever want to bring it back with their actors, I think a reboot for something, and I'm going to tell you what my like fan headcanon would be for a reboot. It would be like Modern Family, The Next Generation, or something along those lines, because I feel like they've definitely set up for something along those lines to happen. If we look at the original series, Dylan and Haley, they have twins at the end of the series. I think they're born in season 10 and then they look after them and they're raising them in season 11 in the Dunphy family household. So they have a perfect next generation sort of thing going on. I think the twins, in my opinion, and I don't know if the fandom and all the fans think the same thing, but I saw it as like Claire and Mitchell being reborn and restarting the family in that way and going on to the next generation. So they've set up for a next generation, and when it comes to the original cast, I don't think if they were going to reboot it, it shouldn't be the entirety of the ensemble cast. I think the older generations like Claire and Phil, Mitch and Cam, and Gloria and Jay should potentially instead be cameos in the series, that they should come up every so often in the same way that Phil's dad came up in the old series. Or like Claire and Mitchell's mother, Dee Dee, came up in the series as well, or like some characters that would have sometimes pop up, make little cameos for like a fun little storyline for that particular episode. That would be how I would envision those characters coming back, especially since some of those characters also have like quite big careers. They kind of always have, especially with Modern Family being so popular. I think some of them, I think the person, I don't remember his name, but the person who played Cam, he was one of the small actors and his career definitely skyrocketed. But if you look at people like Ed O'Neill, he definitely had a career before Modern Family. But you can also see that the younger generation of kids, like I don't remember half of their names, but I'm just gonna call them by their character names: Haley, Alex, Luke, the other people. But if you look at the younger generations, they also are still acting, which means that it's not like they'll lose out on one of the characters because they're no longer acting. They definitely still have careers. They're still building on those careers that they created growing up when working on the Modern Family set. So I see potential for a reboot if you call it like Modern Family, The Next Generation. And this is my idea, right? We split it up into 3 households again because there's 3 Dunphy kids, right? So we split up into Dylan and Haley, and then Alex in a household, and with maybe whoever's dating at that point. Maybe she has a roommate or something if you want to introduce a new character. Or maybe she's in Switzerland at the time and she moves back because she was in Switzerland at the end of Modern Family, or going to Switzerland with the professor, which I didn't like, by the way. I hated that she ended up dating or potentially dating her sister's ex. Disgusting. I did not like that storyline. It felt rushed and unnecessary. And then we put Luke and Manny in the same household as like roommates, and sometimes they're acting like a married couple that like they did in the original series, and I think that'd be really cute. That is like the main reason that I want to see a reboot, is because I want a spin-off series with Luke and Manny, because acting like a married couple, I need that in my life desperately. Another reason why I feel like there should be a spin-off series or a reboot, right, with like the next generation of kids, and I know a lot of people probably are not going to agree with me on this, but I feel like there are some things that they could potentially fix. Like, I feel like, I haven't actually seen this, but I'm sure there are people who absolutely love Dylan and Haley being together. I do not. I absolutely hate it. It felt like it really backtracked all the character development she had with Andy when she got back with Dylan at the end of the series. And they slowly got rid of all that character development after she dated all these other characters. I think the only time she had major character development was when she was dating the professor. But that was also backtracked when he started dating Alex. Once again, why I didn't like it. Personally, I would break up Haley and Dylan simply because I don't like them, but also because, first of all, if you're thinking of the twins as like a Mitchell and Claire sort of situation, then Dee Dee and Jay divorced, and it would give like a different perspective on Modern Family, or like the Modern Family unit. That theme that they go for in their original series is that they're supposed to be different types of families and how they look, and a send up of that fact, and that's why like they have a gay couple, and then why they have Gloria and Jay, it's supposed to be like a send up, right? And I think if you divorce them but they successfully co-parent with their twins and date and whatever in the series, and have them still, both Dylan and Haley, being like friends and friendly with each other, or even living together still, I think it'd work really well, and it'd make a really funny household to be able to follow in a series. So on that side of Dylan and Haley, it would be like this divorced family unit and giving that more of that theme. And then if you go over to like Luke and Manny, you're giving the roommate situation, rather than people who are married and living together, that a lot of people end up living with roommates because, you know, cost of living crisis. So you could talk about that, and maybe at some point make fun of the fact that maybe they're really broke. They wouldn't be college students now because it's a good few years later, but they're broke for whatever reason. And Manny, we all know, is like a theatre major, so he'd be super broke. So you can do Manny complaining about budgeting and the fact that he's used to like this luxurious lifestyle, and Luke is spending a lot of money for whatever reason. I think that'd be really good in the reboot. And then you also have the household of Alex, who's single, living on her own. Give her back Bill, by the way. I think that Bill as a character was a really good love interest for Alex. Take away the professor. Weird. Don't date your sister's ex. Why would you do that? You worked with him. Student-teacher relationship, gross. I could keep saying more things because Alex needs to have a better love interest. Give Bill back to Alex. That's all I have to say. And I think it'd be a good Modern Family perspective to do a bit of a send-up of the fact that at some point she could be a crazy cat lady. They do that joke throughout Modern Family anyway, that she could potentially end up like that. But I think it'd be too easy to make her a crazy cat lady. So maybe you could have an episode about that, but then you move on. Or like a time period, an era, chapter of Alex's life where she's a crazy cat lady, and then give her a love interest. Maybe Bill comes back into her life as well. And if we circle back to Haley and Dylan's relationship, I think it'd be good to eventually, like, say there's a season 1 reboot and then there's another season 2, have them divorce in season 1 and very like on good terms, and have them successfully, like I said, co-parent. But then Haley can be with Andy. I don't know if scheduling would line up, but you know, in my headcanon world, that I'm just pitching an idea because there could be a potential for a Modern Family reboot. And this is what I'm simply stating my opinion on what I would like to see. If you like Dylan and Haley, go ahead. I can see it. I definitely see it. I just don't like the character development that Haley had. I think she should have grown as a person if she was going to be with Dylan, but I don't think they did that properly. If you disagree, respectfully disagree, I totally get it. But I think she should be with Andy. And then you bring back Andy in season 2 after, or like even a season 3, if you will, like to give Haley a bit of a break from, you know, being a serial monogamous, constantly dating, and then she's just focusing on her kids instead. Have Andy pop up again in a season and suddenly they can date again, you know, when they've done the right person, wrong time sort of trope, and they've brought him back and they can be together again. And it'd be great, because that's what I want for a reboot. So clearly from this whole idea that I think there's a potential for a reboot for different character types and a different set of Modern Family households, in a reboot or a spin-off, I think there is a lot of potential for it. And, you know, if you disagree with me, that's fine. If you have another idea of what a spin-off or a reboot would look like, let me know. But there's definitely potential, not necessarily a need, but there is a potential if they ever want to bring it back like 10 years down the line. I mean, I wouldn't protest against it. I think it'd be really good if they did something like that. But I've just been thinking about it a lot lately, especially since I finished watching the series. There are a lot of things that could have been done better, ending the characters and their development. I think Jay definitely had the most character development. I think his character just making small cameos, if they want it to happen in the series, would be good, but changing the cast into the next generation of kids would make the most sense if we were to bring it back for a reboot. We, as in, I'm going to be on the production team and I'm going to be the director and write the script. And that's how it's going to work. If we were to get a reboot, it can't be the original cast. I just don't see how you can extend on the story anymore. There's a reason why it ended. So they definitely have to come up with some sort of different dynamic for the characters in some way, which is why, you know, I put forward my idea. If it were to happen, this is what I would like. 3 households, the next generation, and reflect the world as it is now, because it is quite different to what it was when the series started back in 2009 or something like that, the early 2000s, like when I was a child, small little baby child. So there is potential. Once again, I keep saying that there's not necessarily a need, so I don't want to be fighting people in comments being like, it was a perfect ending, leave it alone. I agree. It was pretty good and I really liked it. It was a very sad ending. It was bittersweet ending, and if the actors didn't want to come back and do another project, I would also totally understand that. But, you know, it's nice to be a little delusional and nice to dream that maybe there will be another season of Modern Family in the future, especially in the era of spin-offs, remakes, reboots. I think that if Modern Family, or if you were to do it with anything, I would like to see Modern Family instead of something that would probably turn out really bad. I think they could do it with Modern Family, you know, and actually make it good. Bring back Andy and Bill, by the way. That's it. That's all I have to say. Alright guys, that is the end of the video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I would love to hear all your comments and opinions on Modern Family. Are you a fan? Have you thought about a reboot, a spin-off? Would you like to see one? What would you like to see in a reboot or a spin-off or a remake? Don't remake it. Sitcoms cannot be remade. They can only be rebooted or have a spin-off. That's it. Do not remake it. That'd be a disaster. But do let me know your thoughts down in the comments section down below. Also, let me know, who was your favorite character in Modern Family? Do you want Andy back? Do you think Dylan and Haley are perfect for each other? I would love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps out my channel. But once again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye, I've been CJ, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!